Welcome back, everybody. This is Wings of Wax, and we are playing Slay the Spire. So last time we had Pandora's box, transform everything from our deck, all of our strikes and defends into random cards, and basically change the entire outcome of our deck. We had Barricade, which was like one of the first early rares that we got that we were trying to build around, and we didn't really get too many cards to build around it. And then when we transformed all of our strikes and defense, it made us into more of an aggressive strategy with like double brutality, a berserk, and a couple of other fun things here and there. What else did we get from that? We got intimidate and a thunderclap and dual wield, and the bludgeon too. So it made us more of like an aggressive strategy to be able to just deal big hits. So now that we've basically changed our entire strategy from Act 1, we are starting to lean more towards an aggressive strategy, and because we weren't able to pick up very many defensive cards, we've been kind of like leaning towards like picking up the metallicizes. We did be able to pick up a spot weakness and an inflame, which is great because they are they're pretty helpful. I mean, they help out with at least heavy blade and twin strike, but unfortunately everything else is just like mediocre damage that they're increasing. Whenever you take strength buffs, you want to be able to take cards that like deal damage X times or whatever. Like Sword Boomerang is a card, or Pummel is another card as well. Obviously cards like Twin Strike are obviously good too, and Cleave I think is pretty reasonable too because it deals damage to multiple enemies, so having that strength bonus to be able to deal damage to multiple enemies is very helpful. A Whirlwind would have been way better, but that's okay. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. We picked up Pancake, or I keep saying Pancake, Leah's Waffle, which upgraded our health, and we went from like almost dead at like 30-ish HP to full health, so that was pretty helpful. We did get Paper Frog. I didn't realize that was PHRO. I don't want to ask. Enemies with Vulnerable take 75% more damage rather than 50%, so they take an extra 25%. We got Bottled Flame, which puts the bash into our opening hand, and we got Velvet Choker as our last relic. And that's mostly because we weren't really casting more than 6 cards in a turn anyways, and we just were bottlenecked on mana. So that's where we're at. So we're going to be trying to avoid any elites that we possibly can on this one, because I don't think our deck is really that good, to be completely honest with you. It would be nice to actually hit the shop, or this one, and get rid of like Dark Embrace. That's like a dead card actually in our deck at the moment, and then if we can, I'd like to get rid of the other brutality if we can help it, but we'll see what happens. I'm not really sure. Should we actually go through here? We do need like a little bit more money to be able to take advantage of a shop here, but I think this one combat should get us to 150, which is about the most a card removal service should cost. Is there any more shops leading up this way? Yeah, there's one actually at the end. So we can actually go straight up the middle and upgrade a couple of things if we don't take too much damage. There is 3 campfires plus this 4th one, or one of these 4th ones. I think I like that actually. So just a matter of like, do we want to take this route to try to get some extra mana for the risk of losing some extra health? How many combats are actually leading us up there? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what's that, like 80-ish gold, we'll say? So I think we do need to hit a couple extra fights in the beginning here. And these are not going to be fun fights, that is for sure. We do brutality though. Not that super duper helps us out, but I should probably consider going for a headbutt first. Unless I want to put Wild Strike back on top of my library. I'm actually not opposed to that, because that will deal a lot of damage. Oh hey, we were able to get Nunchaku. I wasn't paying attention to that, so that is just another one of those cards that like I just forget about. Another one of those relics or abilities that I just completely forget about here. Fire Strike. Fiend Fire will kill you, so nice. We took 2 damage. 2 damage, eh? Okay. Do we take another Inflame here? We don't really have like the cards to take advantage of Inflame. That is the problem. Like, I don't want to like litter my deck with cards that are helpful, but they're not high impact. And strength and inflame is not as high impact as I would like it to be. Anger is decent too, but I think we just skip here, to be completely honest. So we have our option. And I was right. We got about 15 gold from that fight. It's probably going to cost about 125 to remove a card. And if we want to be able to get to the other fire, yeah, we should be able to. We should fight these as much as I don't want to. And again, we have 0 defensive cards like in our opening hand. Not really surprised, but a little disappointed. Let's go for a bash on this guy, and then go for a clothesline. And from here, do I really want to go for brutality? I think it's worthwhile. We need to dig through our deck. Our deck is pretty beefy at the moment. We don't really have any cards that actually draw, so unless you want to count Dropkick. I was thinking like more like we have like 1 offering, and we don't have any battle trances or anything like that. Is basically what I was getting to. And I don't have much defense here either. Do we go for an offering and just see where that leads us? I would like to get metallicizes down if I can help it. And also a rupture, so we got 1 metallicize. Okay, well, that's something, I guess. I should like count this out for a second. So if I go for the metallicize, I'm able to get, if I fiend fire, say like this guy, probably a mistake. So probably like thunderclap, bludgeon. Yeah, I don't think we fiend fire then. Like this guy's close enough to death where I don't need to deal very much more damage to him. So, and if I could take out 1 of these, that would be great. We need to deal 61 damage. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Which would be what? Math is hard. Well, 5 times 7 is 35, so 42. Okay. That's not enough to kill you. So we can't go for the Fiend Fire. I do think we go for the Metallicize, though, here, but I feel like we start with, like, Thunderclap and then go for the Bludgeon on, say, this guy. I mean, it doesn't matter, but, like, if we can try to kill this, I think that's more beneficial to us, which it looks like we can, so I will kill you. And we can prevent all but 1 of the damage, so I'm okay with this. We have 1 at full health, which is a problem. But I feel like we're at a spot where this is a little bit more reasonable to kill these. We do have spot weakness here. Should we start with Shrug It Off? I think we should. See where that leads us. We have Berserk. Okay. Spot weakness. Leads us down to Cleave, which will prevent some more damage to us. And we have extra mana, but casting Dark Embrace actually is not going to do anything for us here, so... Whew. Yeah, we're just going to be taking hits. I don't really want to cast Brutality because drawing the extra card doesn't really matter too much to us, and Berserk is going to make us take way too much more damage than it's worthwhile here. So we're going to be going up to 14, so we're going to be taking 2. Okay, well, we're going to be taking 3 because of the Brutality that we have on us. We clearly would like to Rupture. That is for sure. We finally get that. Unfortunately, though, we don't really have a great way to kill this. So that is super duper unfortunate. But we can weaken him to make sure we don't take too much damage, which actually means we don't have to block this turn if that's the case, which means we can go for a dual wield on a headbutt. And we can still inflame this turn. And do we bring you down to closer to death, or do we bring you down to closer to death? I think we bring down this one because he's going to have defense up next turn. This is going weird and poorly because you have to like kill them all at the same time, but I think we're doing an okay job right now. We did get the Cleave, so that's reasonable. I can dual wield the Cleave. I like that option because that does kill all of you. Awesome. Gambler's Brew. That's fine. We do have Sword Boomerang, and we have Carnage. Do we need any more, like, 2-mana things to do? Because I don't think we do. Because we already have, like, a Bludgeon. We already have a Heavy Blade. We already have Bash, and we already have Clothesline. So we don't need any more 2-mana things to do. So Carnage is great, but Carnage... he is a little too late to the party here. So Sword Boomerang is the only thing I'm really considering here. And I don't think we need it. We only have the 2 ways. Oh, technically we have 3 ways to be able to get strength. Interesting. Yeah, I think we take a Sword Boomerang here. We don't have any cards that take advantage of the strength bonus, so I kind of like that. Yep, we have another combat, so let's go. Let's do it. What do we want to do here? Is it better to dual wield a Metallicize and not go for a Bash? I think so. That is one of those turns that I wish that dual wield was actually upgraded. So got to keep that in mind, by the way, for future reference. And I'm trying to take out the one that's going to explode in a couple turns. We should be able to take this out without a problem. So we're just going to focus on these 2 guys. Let's see. 10 damage is not enough. We do have Inflame, which can actually make it so we can kill this one this turn. I do like that. We're going to be taking some hits here. But, I mean, that's to be expected. We're not in a very good spot. And I guess we'll just drop kick this one. And I'm going to use my block potion this turn. We do a spot weakness here. I can't go for the Sword Boomerang, like, ever. That is just a recipe for disaster. No, thank you. And we're never going to be able to activate, like, the drop kick. We have no way to block here either, so there's a lot of, like, holes in all this planning stages. I think we spot weakness, though. Go for a pommel strike on this guy. Drew a rupture. Okay, that's at least helpful. Do we just, like, call it a day and Fiendfire all this? I think we do. We don't really want anything back, I feel like, from our graveyard. We could take, like, Bludgeon, I guess. But I'm not going to... like, we're not going to be able to take full advantage of our mana and be able to cast, like, Sword Boomerang. So I think we do just, like, Fiendfire this guy. So, we're going to be taking 11. Not really what I was hoping to do there, but... worst things have happened, I suppose. Oh, let's see here. We can Shrug it off, then Thunderclap, then Cleave. Or we're going to have to True Grit first. So, yeah, that's the, like, line of play that we go for here. Yeah. And we can just get rid of, like, the wound in our hand. And then we can go for the Thunderclap. And we're going to take 2 damage. That's fine. Right, you're not dead. But you're dead on the following turn. Because you take 3 from our hourglass. There we go. We do get offered another drop kick, or we can take an upgraded boomerang here. We don't have enough vulnerability, I think, to take advantage of a second drop kick here anyways. So as much as I was, like, looking at it earlier, I've just noticed that we just don't have the options. But we're against a lot of enemies that have an artifact on them, so that's probably the reason why. But I like taking the second Sword Boomerang to take further advantage. I'd very much like to get rid of a card. We do have Limit Break, though. I can't. We have a dead card in our deck. We have a dead card in our deck. I cannot take Limit Break. I really want it. I really, really want it, but I can't take it. I'm trying to justify it. But I can't do it. We have a dead card in our deck. Let's get rid of it. Oh, that hurt. That hurt a lot. Do we take a vulnerable potion here? Do we have any more shops at all? We have one more shop, so it's worth it to save some extra monies. I think it's worth it. We could have taken the membership card, but we wouldn't have been able to be able to get rid of a card. We need to get rid of that dead card in our deck because, ugh, it's just as bad as, like, having a curse. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Well, obviously we're going to cast the Brutality. From there, I don't know. Like, do we just double Sword Boomerang here and go for double Sword Boomerang, or do we actually set up a bash? None of these guys are vulnerable here. This is tough. I don't think this is actually a really good hand. I feel like we should even consider gambling it away, but I don't know. I don't think we need to, because we actually have things to do. If we didn't have any things to do, then I think I should gamble it, but since we actually have things that we can do this turn, it's probably not worthwhile. And I could just put some Sword Boomerangs into our deck. I guess that's worth it at least. Let's go for... These guys are going to buff themselves. This guy has less HP, so let's try to take out this one if we can. Pass a turn. Okay. We have Intimidate, which is good for this turn. From there, we have Thunderclap, which is great. Unfortunately, can't kill this. We also can't set up a Berserk this turn, so I'm actually very thankful that we can just get rid of it. Because otherwise, it'll be another dead card in our deck and another dead draw. So, no thank you. We're taking quite a bit of damage, though. We still do need 2 more key pieces if we're actually going to fight the heart, so which I'm still trying to get towards, but obviously it's hard. Man, we don't have enough damage to just kill you here. That is very, very unfortunate. Do we just go for an offering and see what it gives us? Yeah, I think we do. Can't say I'm super happy about it, but let's go for the cleave. Let's go for the headbutt. Put a cleave on top of our deck. Go for a... Cleave is not going to kill you, so I will have to pommel strike you. Oh no, we still have lethal, right? Yeah, let's deal 7, which means this will actually kill this one. Okay, we're fine. We're fine, but we're at half health right now. I mean, Flex is a good card, but it's not for this deck. We just don't have enough of those, you know, times X cards, the deal X damage cards. Twin Strike is decent too, but I just think we just pass because we're just filling up our deck with more aggression, and we're not really looking to be more aggressive. I do have to take a key piece at some point here, though, if we're going to be going for the heart, which, and then we get to this chest. That chest is going to have a key piece, so I just have to take it. Let's go. We got to try, right? We got to try. We shrug it off, but is that worthwhile? Say over going for a True Grit to just get rid of a shrug it off? I don't think that's worth it. I don't think that's worth it at all. I think that's awful, actually. And there's nothing really I want to True Grit, so I'm just going to go for the shrug it off here. We can headbutt, which we are going to need to block next turn. Man, these enemies are a pain in the butt. So we can, like, bash, headbutt, put the shrug it off back on top of our deck, and still set up the Brutality. Like, we're obviously going for the Brutality, so I'm not going to, you know, waste time there. Or we can just bludgeon here. I feel like all these choices are decent. This does set up more damage in the long run, though, because it will be vulnerable for 2 more turns, which means if we draw, like, Cleave or something, it'll take just damage from the Cleave a little bit more. I think we start going for one of the ones that's going to put up defense, and I think we should go for the other one too. No, we should try to make sure that one of these potentially could die next turn. Yes, yes. Because if they're going to be dealing like the 8 times 2 damage or whatever, we should probably try to take it out. Yeah, so he's going to be dealing 8 times 2. Okay. So that was at least something smart that we did, thankfully. We do Intimidate this turn. I do think it's worth it for us to go for an offering here, so let's go for that. I think it's worth the 6 health because these enemies are difficult to be able to deal with. We do have dual wield, which we can dual wield a thunderclap. I think that's reasonable enough, right? That smells reasonable enough. It does set up an extra vulnerable on these guys for one more turn, so I like that. And we can kill... It's going to deal 21. And this is going to deal 16. Okay. So we can kill this one. That was 6 cards. I was thinking we were still going to be able to go for like a shrug it off this turn. Oh, boy. Oh, the Velvet Choker comes to choke me. All right. What do we got? Nothing fantastic, eh? Not good. Not good at all. This would be the turn to go for the Berserk. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. We're just going to try to deal a decent chunk of damage to this guy. I don't know if we necessarily have to kill it. And then we'll try to get this one down, too. Okay. This is a bit more reasonable to deal with. So I want to try to kill them, like, one after another. Or at least in the same turn, rather. I'm sorry. So do a spot weakness and inflame, which will help with the Sword of the Boomerang, though I think that it's worth it. Let's go for that first. Should I go for the Pommel Strike first? This will deal 9 damage 4 times. This is also dealing 9 damage. Oh, it's dealing 15 damage. Okay. So we could set this guy to 8. I think that's worthwhile. And then we have Sword Boomerang, so let's try that. Unfortunately, did not take out this guy, but we're still looking okay. We're taking 7. Oh, we could have actually used our Flame Bottle, which probably would have been better to do here instead rather than take the damage. Okay, let's just end this combat. Not worth any of these. Let's go. Okay, we have a single enemy. Single enemy. I'm not sure I actually want to go for the offering because I value our life total right now. Our life total is scary at the moment. Dealing 3. Okay. We can go for the Berserk this turn and spot weakness, so let's go for all of that. We can also Intimidate one more turn. We can afford to take the damage, correct? Correct. But do I want to go for the Headbutt and then just get rid of this Brutality? It's probably worthwhile. He's probably going to come out with a big, massive attack next turn. He's still weakened, so the best thing for us to do is probably to go for like a True Grit to put back on top of our deck. So yeah, let's go for that. Let's go for a True Grit and just Fiend Fire to get rid of this Brutality since we're never going to cast it. We are vulnerable. He's not attacking. Oh, I thought he was attacking. That is sad. Yeah, let's go for a Dropkick. Leads us into an Inflame. I like that. We have Double Rupture here. I think I should take that. I have the option to be able to get rid of a card here. I just don't think it's actually worthwhile. That was 6 cards. Velvet Choker actually making a difference. But he did make him vulnerable for one more turn, so that was actually really beneficial for us. So I'm glad we actually went for that instead. I do need to make sure that we are blocking up because I do not want to take too much damage because that's how we die. That is definitely how we die. I don't know if you know that, but this is what? 28 damage. This is also 26, so technically it's better to go for the Sword Boomerang, and if that's the case, then we should probably go for the Wild Strike, because that deals more damage technically than the Pommel Strike. It does put a wound into our deck, which is a problem, but what do we have left here? We have a Bludgeon, so I think we can take advantage of that next turn. Nah, it's better to go for the Heavy Blade here, since we actually got the mana from Nunchaku, so... Whew. Nunchaku coming to the rescue. think we are dead, though, because you are not vulnerable here. We can set it up, though. Like, we have Thunderclap. No, we are not dead. We're actually okay. Yeah, no, we're good. We're good. We're good. No worries. We got this, I believe. Which means we should have used one of these potions. None of these are really things I want to be able to take here. Juggernaut's still, like, questionable, but I think we're just going to get Mercy killed at some point, honestly. Or a Calcum. No! This is a deck that needs that. No! I can't get into any combats. No! The question mark leads us into another combat. Ah! Okay, well, here's the Earth round. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Are we dead? I think we are, but I still have some cards up my sleeve. Let's go for this Distill Potion, see what we get. Okay. Unfortunately, none of those were blocks. None of those were blocks, by the way. Are we getting killed here? I believe we are. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Well, unfortunately, I mean, the deck wasn't good. Let's be fair. Once we got to that Pandora's box just destroyed this run because we were building towards something, and then all of a sudden, just like, yeah, remember that thing that you really liked? Let's just snag that from you. But that's just like part of the game. That's part of the reason why I don't like doing random things, because when you do random things, you have that chance of being absolutely screwed, and this is one of those games where we did get absolutely screwed. So with that in mind, though, I'm actually feeling more confident to be able to try to be able to fight the heart, because I'm feeling like I'm getting the hang of being able to understand better cards to be able to take against trying to get to the heart and actually be able to kill it. So I wouldn't be surprised if we actually kill the heart really soon. So keep that in mind. I do realize that this was not really a good showcase of that, but that's just because we took a random thing, and the random thing, was random. It was awful. It was the bottom of the barrel dice roll. We rolled a 1, a stumble. Oh, yeah. I mean, trying to think if we actually learned anything. I mean, like, brutality plus rupture is a good combo. I wish there's a way to make this innate, because having those both in your opening hand would be so cool. I haven't really taken like that type of like deck very often, so I'm glad that we were able to like try that out, because you could see that like there was some legs between these two cards, and it only takes a rare and an uncommon to really start to get flowing, and then you can actually start to look at a deck that's very aggressive, that takes more cards like the sword boomerangs, or you can obviously take spot weakness and flames, which is typically what you grab whenever you play those decks anyways, but it just makes it's definitely like a shell that will help like a heavy blade style deck. I'm actually like really interested, and I hope that at some point down the line we can actually put together a real deck that focuses around this synergy, because this is real. I think that's one of the coolest things we actually got out of this. But other than that, everything else is if we obviously got like the what's this called, bottled flame. I wish if we got the one that lets you get a power, because that would be insane to go for a rupture and a brutality. It's the dream. It's obviously it's very unlikely, but it is a dream that we all have, right? And I've been learning that Berserk is actually reasonable. We just didn't have any turns to be able to set it up, because we didn't have enough block to be able to set this up. Obviously, Metallicize is still a fantastic card, as you noticed, because it was doing some work. It probably did way more than your average card here. So I'm happy to say that we did learn some things from this deck. Unfortunately, we died, but I'm kind of glad that we didn't actually be able to get to the bosses, because I just wanted to mercy kill this run once I saw what we got from Pandora's box. It's like double brutality and a regular berserk. Oh god, we're gonna die. It's okay. It's okay. I'm glad we were able to take away something from that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'm guessing that the next run that we have here should be a good one, because I'm feeling much more confident about the way that I build decks for the Ironclad especially. So that was not a good showcase of it. That's just a reason. That's just we got screwed by RNG. So, but I'm feeling much more confident about moving into the Ironclad and being able to actually take down the Heart, which is the inevitable goal of trying to play the Ironclad. And once we defeat the Heart, then I'll feel comfortable enough to move on to the next character. So, hopefully look forward to all that stuff. And yeah, thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. It does really help out the channel greatly. Leaving a comment down below to let me know if you saw any plays that maybe, or some card choices that maybe I should have considered, or some synergies that I didn't consider. It would be grateful. I'd be very, very grateful to learn anything as long as you're considerate. I love learning about card games, and I love learning about interactions and synergies and ways to just get better at card games and deciphering better choices. Yeah, that's really it though. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate all the support lately too, by the way. Once we get to 2,000 subscribers, I will post 2 videos in a day. I'm not sure if it'll be the exact day that we actually hit 2,000, but maybe the day after or sometime that week. So be looking forward to that. Saying goodbye is always the hardest thing for me. But do something positive for yourselves, guys. Do guys and gals. Do something that makes you happy for the day. You know, you only get one life, so enjoy it. Do something that you can laugh about. Do something that will make you smile for the day. Good luck and grind on, everyone.